Hi, this is Nancy Zalek, President and CEO of the Mankato Area Foundation, and thank you for joining us today for Donor Advised Funds. It's never too early. I think you're going to enjoy hearing from the Nestler family, learning about how they have incorporated charitable giving into their family values, and now it's a discussion around the table almost every day.
In addition, you will hear from some of our Mankato Area Foundation champions. These are people that have started donor advised funds, scholarship programs, and work with us on community projects.
I've had the opportunity to work with the Nestler family for a number of years. If anyone knows the Nestlers, they are fantastic. And we've had multiple conversations covering a variety of topics over the years. And of course, a number of years ago, we were talking about how they give back to the community, whether it's volunteering of their time or financial gifts. And you know what, when it comes to thinking about starting a family fund or a fund with Mankato Area Foundation, I think it's natural to think, well, I have to come up with a large dollar amount. You don't have to. You can start small.
Hi, my name is Margot Nestler. I really like dance. It's my 5th year, and it just really helps me in some emotional times when I get stressed about things or I'm sad about things. I just dance and it makes me feel a lot better. I would like to support Darby's Dancers because they help kids who can't do things as much as other kids can, and they help them be able to do dance, and it really helps them.
Another thing we've really appreciated about the Mankato Area Foundation as a family is that they've been able to really guide us on appropriate places to make our donations based on our family interests. So whether that would be Mankato Youth Place or Darby's Dancers or maybe even Backpack Food Program, we've been able to learn more about the different opportunities for giving in the Mankato community.
We have a saying in our industry that says, when you've met one donor, you've met one donor. Everybody's charitable giving looks different. And so if you're trusting the foundation and willing to let us have that conversation with your client, I think we can personalize their philanthropy and make them realize why a donor advised fund at the Mankato Area Foundation really makes sense.
If they share with us that they have a goal of giving back and giving back within our community, we can work with the Mankato Area Foundation and maintain that relationship as an advisor and client and the foundation, where they can continue to work with their financial advisor when it comes to giving to the foundation and then continuing to invest those funds.
And once we watched like a documentary, I think, and right after that we had spent a half an hour just talking about how ways that we could donate our clothes and giving people things.
One of the benefits of working with the Mankato Area Foundation is it allows us to have a team approach with our financial advisor and the Mankato Area Foundation. We still work directly with our financial advisor on making the investments, and then he works with the Mankato Area Foundation.
Hi, my name is Liam Nestler, and if I could donate anywhere, it would be the Humane Society because I really like animals.
Hi, I'm Dave Schoof, and I've had the pleasure to be part of the Mankato Area Foundation for about 20 years. Back in 2001 when I moved here, the foundation was one of the first organizations I was introduced to and got to participate with, and over that period of time I've just watched it grow to a tremendous community asset, and I've been privileged to be a part of it both as a volunteer, board member, and now as a donor. So for Michelle and I, our contributions have been a gamut of different things, just from being a general donor to a few years ago starting a couple different funds. One of the funds is a community fund that we started. At the time, we really didn't know what we were going to do with our money at the time for the donor advised fund. So we felt that it was something where we could start early as younger individuals in the community. And as time has gone on, we've now identified some projects that we felt were important for us.
For the investment managers in the room, I want to remind you about our Investment Partners Program, which allows you to continue to work with your client once they decide that they want to establish a donor advised fund and contribute some investment assets to the foundation. We can turn around and hire you and your firm to manage that fund for the Mankato Area Foundation, which allows you to continue to have that relationship with your client, to have a partnership with the foundation, and continue to work with them regarding their charitable needs while keeping those assets still in your portfolio. It's a terrific win-win between the local firms in this community and the Mankato Area Foundation.
When this first came on our radar is really when some of the tax laws changed, and it allowed us to really stack our donations and make a contribution in one year and then use that money to give in future years, and that's really how it's played out for us.
So the backpack food program here in Mankato exists because kids need food on the weekends or just better food than what they might have at home. And it's really important for those kids to get that nutrients so that they can focus better in school and so that they can have a better at-home life.
When our grandmother set up the foundation, she was adamant that we invest in the communities in which we live, like they've always been able to do here. So when I lived in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, I invested in some programs that are quite similar to what we invested in Mankato. They're in Cannon Falls. We have a sibling who lives in Colorado, and she will invest there. And I think that's really important for anybody in any community, that you invest in the community in which you live.
When it comes to conversations about charitable giving, these are topics that come up naturally in conversations with our clients. These are clients that share with us their personal financial goals and oftentimes their goals when it comes to giving back. And sometimes the hesitancy that a client might express is, well, if we work with the foundation, we can't continue working with you. Well, here's the good news. You can continue to work with your financial advisor and work with the foundation. And you can maintain that relationship to accomplish your charitable goals.
People can donate land, they can donate buildings, farmland, grain. There's just so many ways that they can look at their charitable assets, their assets, and donate them to the foundation to create this fund that then we can use to help with their philanthropic experience.
And so when you work with Mankato Area Foundation, you're working with the experts. There's nobody that can beat working with our own local foundation when you want to get something accomplished within Mankato. What makes them unique is the people. These are great people. These are people who understand our community. They understand where there's needs and there's opportunities for us to help make this a much better place to live and work.
So we have the Kristen and Pat Duncanson Family Fund at the foundation, and it allows us to be strategic and deliberate about our philanthropy. Because we raise grain, we oftentimes give grain to the foundation. It's great for us because it gives us a tax opportunity. It's great for the foundation. They can make a decision on when they want to sell it and have that cash on hand. Part of the reason we do that is that we're able then to hand over something that we have an abundance of. So for us, it's a slick way, convenient way, and deliberate way for us to be givers and to contribute.
Giving property is frankly pretty easy. You know, once you kind of figure out what that value is and you get an appraisal, you work with the foundation staff, and it's really a seamless process from giving that land away, but then also setting up that fund so when the land does sell, you're able to then convert that into that cash to give back to the organization that you wish.
We set a goal at the beginning of the year of how much we want to contribute to the fund, and then throughout the year we're able to contact the foundation to divvy up those funds for us. So it's really a nice way for us to stay organized without having to think too hard about it in the moment.
The other thing about a donor advised fund that is so wonderful is that you can time it so that it matches up with the financial needs of your client. If they need a tax deduction in a certain year, they can bring that charitable gift to the foundation in that year, but then we can work with them over time to determine how they actually want to give that money away.
Our family history in philanthropy really started with their early arrival. They were really close to being pioneers in the area, and as pioneers, it was natural to be involved in building and developing the community. And so that's where it started, and a lot of involvement with their churches. It was important for them to participate in the development of the area, and they didn't really have a lot of money, I think, probably for several generations, but they were able to do things in kind. For example, our great-grandmother, Lulu Page, who started Page's Bakery in North Mankato, she did a lot to feed hungry people, but she concentrated a lot of her efforts too on just creating affordable meals for a lot of the local community people. As soon as the family was building a little bit of money and was able to contribute dollars, they did so as well.
So for me, having a chance to give is really, it's nice. I mean, I like being able to give to the community and to other people, and especially kids, because I can't imagine people my age not having great food at home.
Yeah, and for tax planning, it's also been extremely easy. We're able to give one large lump sum in a given year and then utilize that money over the next 1 or 2 or multiple years to make those donations. And so anytime we want to make a donation, we're able to just send an email, and it's a very easy process, and they take it from there.
We kind of make a habit of the first load of corn out of the field every fall goes to the foundation. That's just our habit. So we'll deliver that load of corn, which is approximately 1,000 bushels, to a local elevator, one that we're used to working with. Then we just notify the foundation and they take over selling it at that elevator. And the foundation works with the elevator because it really is their grain once we give it to the elevator in their name. Agricultural clients, like I said, want to be generous. They appreciate philanthropy. It's just putting a plan together for them that's a little different than a typical client. We have lots of opportunities to give and be philanthropic in our community, whether it's giving bushels to the FFA, which was a practice they did for years, where, you know, the FFA kids would pull in and you'd fill their wagon full of corn. This is similar, but you just are doing a little bit bigger scale. From a tax point of view, it's beneficial to us because we don't have to pay the income on the sale of that grain. In other words, if we sold the grain to the elevator, of course we get cash for it. It's part of our plan, part of how we run our business, but we don't have to pay the tax on it if we donate it. So we donate that first load of corn every year to the foundation, and then we will oftentimes too have a little contract that we fulfilled at the elevator. There may be extra grain in the bin, and we'll donate that to, just depending upon what the year is looking like.
We decided to transition our family foundation to the Mankato Area Foundation for a number of reasons. The most annoying reason was that we just had a lot of technical difficulties and felt like we were only a number with the firm that was managing us before. And that all went away when we joined the Mankato Area Foundation. We also really wanted to transition because if something happened to us, or as our family may ultimately someday move away from the local community, we wanted to make sure that our funds were managed by an entity that understood what we really wanted to see happen with these funds, and that they would carry that out long after we are gone.
One of the things we've learned about the Mankato Area Foundation is that when we understand the needs and the opportunities in the community, and then we also know the desires of our donors to give back, we can connect those two and make sure that these needs and opportunities are funded. And when that curation happens, it's just a benefit to this community that wouldn't happen without the deep roots that we have in the Mankato area.
And when we can have the ability to pick up the phone and ask a question, or bring in Nancy or one of her team members with a conversation regarding about, well, I want to support this cause or this program, it's very easy. And again, it gets back to that personalized level of service.
The foundation is, I believe, very knowledgeable about the nonprofit sector, about the needs and the opportunities of the community. And when we can align that donor with a need in the community and a way for them to have a personal impact, it's just a win-win for the donor, for the nonprofit organization, and for the community.
If you've never done this before, the couple of key steps. One, decide where you're going to sell the grain. Usually do it someplace that you're used to doing business at. Start a donor advised fund at the foundation by contacting the Mankato Area Foundation. They'll help you set that up. And then deliver the grain, tell them that it's going to the foundation, and from there the foundation takes over working with the elevator for the sale of that commodity.
As all of you know, there's a variety of options for opening a donor advised fund, and there's a lot of commercial products, but we feel that The value add that the Mankato Area Foundation brings to the table is just our knowledge of this community, our knowledge of the nonprofit sector, the needs of the community, the opportunities for making a difference, and then our ability to connect the donors with those needs that we've identified in this community.
Backpack for Food program brings food to them, or they pick it up from school, and it's just supposed to help them over the weekend have that meal.
The Mankato Area Foundation has really been the cornerstone of an exciting project that Dave and I have been working on with the community with a number of different entities. Being MSU alumni, that's an exciting piece for us and part of the project. The City of Mankato, Twin Rivers Arts, very exciting coming down the pipe here in a few months. And the foundation has really made this an easy process for us, and without the foundation, I really don't think it would be possible to pull all these groups together to make it happen. So I'm really excited. We're excited to work with everybody on this and to make an impact on the community that will be revealed in a few months.
So with the Community Response Fund, once organizations figured out what their immediate needs were, for example, the Backpack Food program, since kids weren't in school, they were able to use the funding to then deliver food to kids that needed it the most at a very critical time since school was not in session anymore.
The most enjoyable thing for our family in charitable giving is being able to invest in projects that really focus on people and the development of people in our communities, and to be able to watch those funds help with those programs and see people come to life and see the joy in people's eyes, or special projects that we are able to help develop. It means everything to us.
It's good to sit down with those farm families and find out what they're passionate about. What are the things that they want to make sure that they give to and be deliberate about. We get asked a lot because we usually live in small towns that have a lot of different opportunities to give. For Pat and I, it was really helpful to sit down with our family and with our advisor and say, you know, what are we passionate about? We still are very connected to the land, the environment, food, where we went to college, our churches, some of the local things that are important to us. And it's very helpful to be strategic and deliberate. So sit down, advisors, sit down with your ag clients and really find out what's important to them.
In 2013, my father passed away, and we thought a great way to honor him would be to start a scholarship fund in his name. And the first choice to manage that fund was the Mankato Area Foundation. And I have to say, we've had a tremendous experience in doing that. I go back to my high school every year and give out the scholarship, and we are now giving out multiple scholarships each year. The Mankato Area Foundation makes it so easy. They help with the application process, they release the funding to the students, and are such a great partner with us along the way, and have made the process so rewarding to work with.
The beauty about this fund is you can get it started while you're still young, early, and continue to see it grow and see your gifts continue to grow over many, many years. You don't have to be retired. You don't have to be later on in your years. You can get this started now and enjoy giving. Enjoy the process of giving back and making a positive difference now.
If I could tell you one thing about giving, I would tell you that it is so much fun and it makes you feel great when you've done it.
There's two projects that really tug at me, at least, as far as our foundation goes in terms of favorite. I love the Children's Museum and everything it does to help children learn through discovery. But I also really love the new welding lab that's called the Jones Metal Welding Lab at South Central College, because it really represents what we try and do as a company as well, by helping people develop new skills and helping provide a greater pool of manufacturers to the Mankato area. So I'm a little torn there, but I love both of those projects.
So I encourage farmers to really think about giving grain as part of their philanthropy, as part of their generosity. Farmers are by nature generous people, and having the opportunity to give in such a way as giving the gift of grain really helps out on so many levels.
One of the things that's most enjoyable for us about working with Mankato Area Foundation is how well they understand our desires for our funds and the legacy we're trying to leave here in the Mankato community. And we know that in the future, our funds are in great hands and they will continue to invest in the projects that are most important to us as a family.
I'd advise advisors to really sit down with that client and say, okay, so you've got a contract for certain bushels and you have to deliver 10 and you've got 11, donate the 11th.
It's easier and less intimidating than you might think. And I don't think that it's just for wealthy or rich people. It can be for anyone that's looking to tax plan and make a difference in the community. So don't hesitate to consider this and just ask questions of Mankato Area Foundation or your financial advisor.
And we can start at a dollar amount that's comfortable for you as the donor, and you can grow from there. That's the nice thing about it. The biggest decision you will make is to simply get started. And you can start with a dollar amount and continue to give back to the community for many, many years and continue to watch it grow, and along with that, continue to watch your contributions grow as well.
It's also really important to us that we honor how people want to give charitably. For some, it's a visible impact. They want to lead by example. And for others, it's very private. And they may choose even to make their fund anonymous. And under the umbrella of the Mankato Area Foundation, we work so closely with each of our individual donors that we understand how they want to define their charitable giving.
When I give, I feel happy because I know I'm helping them.
When I give, I feel happy, grateful, supportive, and thankful that I can help other people.
Thank you for joining us today. You've now heard from the Nestlers. You've heard from our Mankato Area Foundation champions and how they utilize funds with the foundation. You've heard from our president, Nancy Zellick, with some of the nuts and bolts of establishing a fund. Everyone that participated today will receive our brochure with more details on how to work with the Mankato Area Foundation.